Well, the question is, what's wrong with general aviation? And there's a bunch wrong. Student starts are down. We're not growing as much as we'd like. We're having a hard time. Manufacturers aren't selling airplanes. But what's right about it is that we always get a new supply of entrepreneurs who come in and solve problems. Good examples, Redbird simulators. We had an entrepreneur that loves aviation, came in from PepsiCo as the Chief Information Officer, then Dell as the Chief Information Officer, and he's bringing a fresh new approach to aviation training, and he's going to revolutionize it. And that's what's right with general aviation.
Well, it's an interesting question, what's wrong with general aviation? I don't really think there's a whole lot wrong with it. There are things that can probably stand some improving to get it up to speed with where we are today. We at BioEnergy obviously are converting a Cessna 172 to electric power, which will hopefully significantly reduce the cost of flying. It'll make it more environmentally friendly. It's just that's our contribution, if you will. I think what we just saw here at the Jepson briefing on what they're doing with charts, availability, management systems for flight instruction are all enhancing the system that currently exists. So I think what's right with general aviation is what's going on here at AOPA with all the new projects that are being announced, all the new management techniques. Our airplane, as we throw it into the mix, will substantially reduce costs and be very environmentally friendly. So we see kind of a positive future.
In order to grow general aviation, we really need to focus on customer value. What does the customer get? What does the pilot get? And obviously, those of us that are inside the industry already feel very passionate about it. So what about the outsiders? What do they think that they get? When you think about the perception of general aviation from a non-pilot's point of view, obviously they think in terms of it's dangerous, they think it's expensive, they think it's difficult. But in general, they all have the wrong perception. It's not as dangerous as they think. It's not as expensive as they think. It's not as difficult as they think. So we need to do a better job of reaching out for them as an industry. We need to show them the value that they get, show them what a modern, comfortable airplane can do for their lifestyle. And then, of course, because I love old airplanes, I figure someday that they'll fall in love with a tail dragger on a grass runway. But to begin with, we've got to get away from the old model of introduction to aviation. It's not the intro flight in the Cessna 150 anymore. Show them value.
You know, right now I think some of the big concerns we have in general aviation are some of the barriers to entry. It's still a very expensive industry to learn how to fly and be able to own and operate airplanes. And what I think that's encouraging is that as an industry, we're trying to tackle it with some of the new categories of airplanes like the light sport class and the effort that's being spent around training. Really trying to find more innovative and creative ways to start getting the training to be more in line with some of the modern technologies, because we've got to address the not only aging pilot population but the need for more pilots in the future. So I think there's a bright future, especially when you look at all the emerging technology that we're so used to having, whether it be an iPad or whether it be things that you can simulate now on computers. When we integrate that with the airplane itself and the training environment, we have paths to be able to solve these problems. We've been able to do that in the past, and I think in the future we'll also be able to conquer these big issues. The future's going to be okay. It's going to be, we're in a tough time now, but it's going to be bright long term because there's a lot of great minds in this industry to go solve it.